Social Jumpstart. Get your summer off to a fast start.
Hello, 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 and welcome to lesson number 4 of Social Jumpstart. My name is Joel Konsinski. I am the PR and social media manager for Vector Marketing. Excited to go through today's lesson that's all about profile mastery on LinkedIn. And the way that this lesson is going to be taught is in 10 steps, or a checklist, if you will, of 10 ways that you can impact your LinkedIn profile right now. So this lesson is really designed for you to listen to one section, pause the video, and then go do some work on your profile. You'll also notice that within this lesson, there will be an article attached that really digs deeper into the concepts that we're going to discuss here. Also provide you some resource links. So I would definitely make sure to check that out right after this video, as well as an additional resource for those of you that want to go deeper on this. Facebook and Instagram is where potential recruits check you out. Think about when they would do that as they're considering working for you, or maybe you sent them a friend request, or maybe you sent them a message. So they're going to be investigating to see who you are, what you're about, and what it's like working with Vector, because you are a representation of that as you are a representation of yourself on social media. LinkedIn is where the parents of top recruits and top recruits will find you. So not having a LinkedIn, but running a business or being involved in business in any capacity, it really doesn't scream credibility to me. And thinking about the conversations that a top rep would have with their parents after they're really excited about an interview request, or maybe even following the interview and before training. So due diligence is something that a lot of parents are teaching their kids nowadays, and also just top recruits, right? They're going to check you out. So what are they going to find when they find you? That's what today's lesson is all about. So hopefully you've already made adjustments to your Facebook and Instagram profiles based on lesson 2 and 3. If you haven't done so, I would definitely recommend halting on this video, going back and doing that as we complete the big 3 for your personal brand: LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. By the way, the biggest reason that I've seen people say, I don't need a LinkedIn yet, is because they don't feel like they have a super impressive resume to showcase. Or maybe they're still in school and they think, I think LinkedIn is useful, but only after college. And I'm here to tell you that couldn't be further from the truth. So whether you've had a LinkedIn profile for years or you don't have an account yet, this lesson is for you. And I would just encourage you with this quote on the screen: everybody starts somewhere. And the earlier that you get started, the faster you can begin really enhancing your LinkedIn profile and building a digital first impression to be proud of. So like I said before, I would recommend going through each of these 10 sections. There'll be a checklist that's kind of a check up from the neck up, if people still say that. If not, I really just dated myself, and that's okay. But yeah, make yourself accountable to this checklist, so that way at the end of the 10 steps, you'll have a profile to be proud of, and one that you can begin building as well. So with that being said, let's dive into number 1 of the checklist today, which is your profile photo. Your profile photo. The objective here, as you can see, is when parents and recruits search for you, that you look trustworthy and credible. I feel like a broken record with profile photo, right? I don't know if people say broken record because we don't really have records. We don't have CDs. Anyways, tangent. But the objective is trustworthy and credible. So there are 4 checklist items for you as you evaluate your profile photo on LinkedIn. This is different. This is not Instagram, so no selfies. It could be warm. It needs to be warm and welcoming. So same thing we talked about on Instagram and Facebook. Smile, eye contact with the camera. Your dress attire is a little bit different than we talked about on Instagram and Facebook. This platform is designed for you to be a professional. So your dress attire needs to match with the platform's expectations there. So professional dressed. I would definitely recommend a waist up photo. So you don't want to go, the full body shot here, because you want to try and get a little bit of your outfit, also your beautiful smiling face there. Notice the image size too. So you want this to not be blurry. This is going to be 400 by 400, so a square image. Where I've seen blurry photos is you take a group photo, like, man, I'm looking good in this. And you try and crop just that side out where you're featured, and it ends up being pixelated. So that's a big no-no for LinkedIn. I would say if you don't have an option right now, think about your next upcoming event with Vector, maybe a conference, something like that. Could be at the office where you just want to dress to impress after an interview or a training, whatever it may be. Maybe even grab a friend and say, hey, I'm going to dress up, grab your iPhone, let's take a picture. Regardless, get it done, and let's dress to impress and look very trustworthy and credible as we're doing it. So that's number 1. You can see Sebastian here, obviously making an amazing impression with his profile photo, looking great. So kudos to you, Sebas, there on a great LinkedIn profile photo. The next slide we're going to talk about here is going to be your cover photo. So this is number 2. So the objective is to convey the professional story that you want to tell. So right now, you have to be thinking about how you're going to position yourself on LinkedIn. If I look at Austin Oberbilling right here, man, awesome cover photo. He's the manager here in Bellevue, Washington. I see that beautiful Space Needle there in Seattle. So beautiful example of that. If you look at the 2 checklist items, contains one or more of the following. So either you at work represents what you do every day, a quote, achievements, hobbies, adventures, or where you live. So this is a great representation of Austin using this as where he lives, which is very relatable for people that are looking him up and trying to demystify and discover who Austin is. Sizing is super important here as well. As you notice, this is a clean and crisp cover photo. So kudos, Austin, on an amazing snap judgment when it comes to cover photo. Let's get into the third thing here, which is your headline. So the objective of the headline is just this. If you had 5 seconds to describe yourself to a new colleague, what would you say? 2 objectives, or 2 checklists under the objectives. The first one is it's clear that you work for Vector Marketing as a blank. So whatever your title may be right now, that's a great opportunity for you to put that there. If somebody interviews with you, or if you send a recruiting message to somebody, or they're looking you up as a part of the staff, maybe you're on campus or anything like that, you want it to be very clear that you work for Vector Marketing. Anything different than that could be very confusing for someone, okay? So that's the first thing that you want to include there. The second thing is this is an opportunity for you in a 120 characters to communicate your area of expertise, your industry, and grab attention. Woo! It's a lot to do, right? So think about this and don't let it overwhelm you. A couple examples here. Kevin Gordon. Kevin is a district manager. You can see what he has in his headline. So first thing, acknowledgement of where he works. And then I love what he says here, empowering students and entrepreneurs to become the best versions of themselves. Life is an occasion. Let's rise to it. Kudos, Kevin. Excellent headline there. Ryan Trimler, DVM, you can see where he recognizes that at first. And then he says, trainer of management, leadership, and sales, developer of young professionals, right? So really hones in on his area of expertise there. You can also see a reference to my headline there, which is a little bit different. What I wanted to point out in mine, if you see the little, I guess I want to call them like suns, but it almost looks like asterisks there. If you go to Google and you just type in LinkedIn headline symbols, then the first article that pops up is from LinkedIn, and you can literally copy and paste symbols that will help your headline pop a little bit. So this is a great way to separate if you're going to add 2 or 3 different things to your headline. It's a great way to separate those and make your headline pop just a little bit. Let's get into the fourth thing. So number 4 is going to be your about section. So evaluate your about section. The objective should be for viewers to understand who you are before scrolling down to what you've accomplished. So they're still trying to figure out from your profile photo, from your cover photo, from your headline, who is this person and what are they about? So this about section is for you to kind of share your heart a little bit about who you are. The number 1 checklist item here is to elaborate on your passions, your skills, your unique story as it pertains to your headline. So you want to see some consistency here all the way throughout. If there's something that's inconsistent, then it can cause red flags for somebody that's to figure out who you are and what you're about. This is an amazing example from Mr. Ryan Trimler, DVM. He has a couple of key links down below his about section that I'm going to embed in this lesson. And it's going to be something that will really, really help you out as well for boosting the credibility of your about section. So the first one is he has the Forbes article where our CEO, Al, was named CEO, top 50 CEOs. He's got another one, the second article there, which is best place to work in terms of diversity. So this is an award we received. Then he's got the Comparably link that actually lists all of our awards that we received in 2019. The next one is how I saved $30,000 selling knives and landed a top tech job in Boston. So that's a really cool and native to LinkedIn article. And then the last one there is a DECA article about us being involved with schools and really giving back. So I will provide these links as well so that you can connect these to your about section. Great way for them to not only figure out more about the company that you work for, but also to really add credibility to yourself, okay? The fifth thing here is work experience. So if you'll notice, the main objective of work experience is to show what you've accomplished professionally. Typically, I've seen people go to the headspace of, oh, this is my resume. This is similar to your resume, but the best way to format this is in sentence form, not in bullet form. So let's look at the 2 checklist items for work experience. So number 1, most impressive accomplishments mentioned in concise sentences. So as it says here, your resume in sentence form. No more than 2 to 3 sentences for each piece of experience. So an example here, Chris Naku, what is up, Chris? Veteran district manager in Milwaukee. And as you can read through his, it's just baked in with credibility about who he is as a person and how he makes an impact professionally. So excellent example there, Mr. Naku. Number 6, education. The objective here is to really simple to build your network with people that you went to high school or college with. So that would be the benefit of including education in this. It's really not something that people look at and say, oh, this adds a lot of credibility to them just because you list education. But the main reason you do this is so you can connect, grow your connections on LinkedIn, which adds credibility to your account. So there's 2 checklist items here. Number 1 is that you added your high school and college. maybe not your high school, but definitely your college. And the second thing is you move this section to the bottom of your profile. Like I said, this doesn't add a ton of credibility to your account. This is more so for you building your total number of connections. So that's number 6. Number 7 is volunteer. The objective here is what have you contributed to? So the volunteer section should answer that question. If you notice, there is a bonus there. If you did this volunteer act with your Vector office, with your Vector team, that is an additional bonus. The one checklist item here is no more than 2 to 3 concise sentences for each volunteer effort or organization. Mr. Jason Heinrichs right there, obviously demonstrating what he's done with the Front Row Foundation, an organization that I'm sure all of you are very familiar with, but he goes on to explain what the organization is about and how that he actively contributed to that. So excellent example there. And kudos to you, Jason, just for impacting more than just the business, but really being a true member of your society and impacting your territory in more than just sales. Number 8, skills and endorsements. The objective here is to establish third-party credibility for your skills. I would look at skills as more of, if I'm thinking in Facebook and Instagram terms, like a like. Okay, this is something that somebody can just go on there and click, yes, this person is skilled in this area. So for anyone to be able to click that you are skilled in that area, you actually have to go in when you're creating your profile and select the skill sets that you feel like resonate with yourself. So checklist item number 1 is to pick 5+ skills relevant to your profile. Once again, consistent all the way down, are selected. So you picked 5, and these are working towards people knowing that this is something that you have proficiencies in or that you're working towards. If you need a snapshot of, hey, what skills should I put as I'm just starting off with Vector, I'm in management training, I would encourage you to search on LinkedIn for some colleagues there, and it is 100% okay to look at their skills and just say, yep, that's me too, okay? But also think about those, what you want to be known for. Those are great skills to add. The second checklist item here is an action step. So I would encourage you to search for 3 to 5 others, could be in your office, could be in your division or your region, that are also going to be leveling up their profiles on LinkedIn. And I would go in there and just show them some love, endorse some of their skills. Make sure it's genuine though, because that's super important. So it's like a little digital pat on the back, so to speak. Number 9, recommendations. This is the form of a long form comment. So this would be the equivalent on Instagram and Facebook of actually putting some thought into it and writing out a comment. The objective here is that it demonstrates social proof of your character and your impact. There's only one checklist item here, and that's to give 5 of those individuals that are also leveling up their LinkedIn profile a quick recommendation. It's okay to ask them for it. I would try and avoid asking through LinkedIn Messenger, but I would send them an email, maybe a text, maybe a phone call, maybe a face-to-face convo, may even be the person sitting next to you while you're watching this, right? So regardless of your methodology for doing it, step 1 is to show love for someone else. And then, hey, if you want to ask for a recommendation in return, 100% okay and acceptable. What I love about Mike Abramowitz, one of many things, is he has a heart to serve and a heart for impacting the lives of everybody that he works with. If you look at the ratio of recommendations given and recommendations received, it is very clear that Mike loves to give recommendations. He loves to show compassion and appreciation for people. This is something, a character trait we can all aspire to do more of. But if you can see, he's received 17 really thoughtful recommendations there, but he's given 41. So he's probably made an effort weekly, bi-weekly, monthly to say, hey, I'm going to reach out to somebody and just tell them what I appreciate about them. So kudos, Mike, for being a great example for that concept there. The last thing, so number 10 is accomplishments. So the objective here is to establish more credibility if your profile needs more information. So what's cool about this, just like Connor Lugo Harris here, the district manager up in DC, is actually, it's not even bilingual, huh? Trilingual, I guess you'd call that. Sign language, Spanish, and English. We've had a conversation before, Connor. So, but pretty cool there. So if there's anything that you are proud of as far as accomplishments, may even be a great opportunity if you want a President's Club letter, scholarship, anything like that, for you to add an accomplishment to your LinkedIn. Once again, completely optional, but if you need a little bit more beefing up of the profile, so to speak, this is a great opportunity and area for you to do just that. With that being said, these are the 10 items that will help you level up your LinkedIn profile. So my recommendation, go back through these, examine the checklist, and let's take it one step at a time at creating a personal brand and foundational LinkedIn to be proud of. One quick note, after this in the lesson, you'll see a ton of resources. I don't know if y'all saw the USA Today cover photo, but we're gonna have that available for download. There's also gonna be on the Vector Impact article, a button for you to click that you can download 12 professional cover photo items. There's gonna be a PDF with this checklist on it. So a ton of resources for you to check out following this video. And obviously the goal there is to utilize those to one step at a time, level up your LinkedIn profile. Thank you so much for joining us. Next up is Module 2, where we get into the building phase of Social Jumpstart. So make your adjustments to your profiles, and we'll see you in the next couple videos.